Good evening. Here is top news newsletter, starting with the headlines. Syria and Belarus signed 3 cooperation agreements. Iraqi troops to launch major ground offensive against ISIL in coming weeks. Ansarullah officials meet ambassadors of Russia, Germany, Egypt in Sana'a. Syria and Belarus signed 3 cooperation agreements in the field of emergency situations, judicial cooperation in civil and penal affairs, administrative cooperation and customs. The agreements, which were signed by the Syrian ministers of local administration, justice and financial, are on the sideline of the visit by Foreign Affairs Minister of Belarus, Vladimir Maki, to Syria. The first agreement focuses on preventative and reactive measures for natural and man-made emergency situations, as well providing mutual assistance in such situations or even mutual assistance to a third country. The second agreement on exchanging authentication and documents for judicial cooperation seeks to simplify procedures for legal cooperation in civil and penal affairs, while the third agreement aims at facilitating and expanding the exchange of goods between the two countries. Talks during the meeting focuses on means of implementing signed agreements and signing new ones, on establishing factories and on participating in the reconstruction of Syria. Both sides focus on the role of intercultural dialogue and religious figures in bringing people together. The Iraqi troops would launch a major ground offensive against the ISIL group in the coming weeks, John Allen, the U.S. coordinator for the anti-ISIL coalition of Western and Arab countries, said. When the Iraqi forces begin the ground campaign to take back Iraq, the coalition will provide major firepower associated with that, he told Jordan's official Petra news agency. Jordan announced it has carried out dozens of strikes against the jihadists since Thursday, as it seeks to avenge the airman burned alive by the group. Iraqi forces had already carried out operations near Baghdad and in Diyala and Salahuddin provinces north of the capital. Officials of Yemen's Ansarullah revolutionaries are meeting with the foreign ambassadors in the capital Sana'a following the constitutional declaration. The head of Foreign Affairs Department in Ansarullah movement, Hussein al-Aziz, met the ambassador of Russia, Germany, and Egypt. The meetings took place on Sunday and were attended by members of Ansarullah political bureau. During the meeting with the Egyptian ambassador, he stressed the Cairo's keenness to maintain security in Yemen. He also said that Egypt rejects any foreign intervention in Yemen. Later on, UN envoy to Yemen, Jamal bin Omar, announced resumption of the national dialogue in the country. Hundreds of posters of a smiling Russian President Vladimir Putin were put up in Cairo ahead of the 2-day visit of the Russian leader to Egypt. The two countries have much on table, from regional security to a free trade deal. Putin is visiting the Arab nation for the first time in almost a decade, although he's already met Egypt's new president Abdel Fattah al-Sisi twice since the military took power from the Muslim Brotherhood in 2013. Economic ties are expected to dominate Putin's trip. He had a delegation of minister-level officials dealing with trade, agriculture, energy, investment, and nuclear power. Last year saw a rebound of trade between Russia and Egypt from a sharp drop in 2013 and reached over $4 billion. The two countries are to discuss a free trade agreement between Egypt and Russia, led the Eurasian Free Trade Union, which also include Belarus, Kazakhstan, and Armenia. Russia and Egypt may also dump the US dollar and switch in trade to national currencies, Putin said in an interview with the Egyptian daily newspaper Al-Ahram. A missile-firing drone killed at least 6 in Afghanistan, including a veteran militant believed to have defected to ISIL from Taliban, Afghanistan officials said. The senior militant was killed in violence blood-helmet. Officials in the southern provincial police chief said Rauf was traveling in a car when a drone attacks. The other casualties included his brother-in-law and 4 Pakistanis, as he said. The United States operates jets drones over Afghanistan and neighboring Pakistan. While Helmand officials said 6 people had been killed, the U.S. Army said coalition forces used a precision-guided mission to kill 8 people who were considered a threat. We are working to confirm the identities of those killed in the strike, said spokesman Colonel Prain. He declined to say if the missile was launched by drone, as Rauf have been influential in Afghanistan's jihadi movement for well over a decade. He had begun recruiting for ISIL, part of a push by the movement to gain traction beyond its stronghold in Iraq and Syria. Afghanistan's main intelligence agency said Rauf was in charge of ISIL in the southwestern in Afghanistan. That's all for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Inas Ahmad. Good night.